Hello everyone. Recently I participated in a tournament called CYCC. It's some 7-round tournament, and I'm gonna recap some of the games because we don't have anything else to do. Okay, so I get there. As you can see, my FIDE rating is like 1800 exactly, and my opponent, I play first round with a rating of 1549, and I get a little bit of looking before the game, and so he plays this very weird thing, which I had prepped for a little bit before the game. But yeah, I prepped a little bit for it before the game, but it was still like really surprising. I was like, what if he had a bunch of books? So he plays e4, I go with my standard Sicilian, and then he plays this move b3, which is not at all common. If we look at the move, obviously these two moves and like, okay, not that move, these two moves and c3 are the most common. Sometimes people can play like weird stuff like a3 and dismiss mora. If we look, b3 is the 5th choice, and yeah, I've never played against this in my life, maybe like twice in Blitz. And his idea is, let's say I play e6 and then d5. This bishop's actually kind of annoying. Like, let's say ed, knight f3, and I go knight f6. He's gonna go something like this, and suddenly this bishop can sometimes be in some kind of attack. And also my king's not yet castled. So I prep before the game, instead of this line, I prep this knight c6 and e5, and the idea is basically this bishop's terrible now. And then the move I prepared against was this bishop b5, when I was gonna play, I think, just knight f6 and d6 here, and his bishop is kind of biting on granite, and I thought I'd have probably a comfortable game. As you can see with the win rate, it is very high here. I'm gonna turn this off now. However, in the game he plays bishop c4, and I'm kind of like, huh, what is this move? And so I take a think of like 15 minutes, because I was trying to think, was there anything special about this move? Like, I don't know, is he trying something like this? However, if he goes, he can't really do any of these stuff, because like, if he gets some knight g5 in, I can do just d5 whenever I want. And so then I was trying to calculate some line like knight f6, what if he goes d3? Ultimately though, I just go knight f6, and he just plays the simple move knight c3, g6. I don't want to play bishop d7 here, because this bishop is now very bad, it's not doing anything, it's not Sveshnikov, I'm not going here. I just played g6, d3, bishop g7, and after he played this move, and I was like, oh, he's going for f4. And this bothered me a little bit, because sometimes he, in these openings, they try for stuff like f4 and f5, and just try to like get a very quick attack on your king. Like castles, he might be going f4, f5. And okay, first I play a6 to get this a4 out, since here if he plays f4, probably just b5 is good enough. Like if bishop d5, I think I can just take this, and he never really has anything here. His bishop is still terrible, f5's not really a concern, but in the game he just plays a4, and I was like, oh, that was kind of dumb. But now I think for a few minutes, and I'm like, oh, this f4 actually is not good, I can only just take it. And so I played d6, and he played this queen d2 move. So if f4, I was gonna take, and play this move knight g5, and I'm trying to get into e6, and then he might go like queen d2, and I was just gonna go knight d4. However, my opponent said after the game, he was very worried about this bishop h6 idea, trying to like gang up here, even though this move is like not principled at all. I don't understand exactly why he was so scared of it, but yeah, I would just go knight d4, knight g4, knight d4. I'm threatening like knight e3 stuff. He's probably gonna castle his king here, and then I can get like queen h4, and I can have like a nice attacking game. However, instead he plays queen d2, and he plays this move h3, which is very slow. He obviously does want f4 now. However, he gave me a free tempo, so I just pounced on his position with his knight d4 move. And I mean, here, yeah, he does kind of have to take, and here he makes a mistake. This move is not good. He most certainly should have just gone in the center, because he needs to block me from playing d5 in this position. And like takes, he's gonna take with the bishop. I was gonna play rook b8, try and get b5, and then I was thinking, okay, maybe a5, b5, or like, and if he just castles, I am gonna go b5 anyways. And I still like my position, but it's not like as bad as what happened in the game, because now I get this d5 move in, and I have much more space than him. This bishop, which he told me after the game, this bishop is supposed to be very strong. It is just terrible. It's not doing anything here. Like, it is biting on this pawn here, which is very well defended. I'm just going rook e8. However, here I should play a few questionable moves. Like, knight b6 is not a very good move. And my time usage for this move was also not very good. I played this move in 3 minutes. I probably should have spent a little more time. Maybe like some, even just like rook e8, just defending this guy. And if like c3, I can always take twice, and he has this like qdp, I can just go attack it like this. But now after knight b6, I missed that he has c3, and I don't want to particularly take this guy, because I was worried about this pawn on d4 being super weak. I would just have to trade here. And also he has idea, which I didn't see at the game at all. And this move actually, he's better in this position with one move, and that's f4, which is a gut punch to the stomach, dude. He's attacking my center like this. So let's say I do nothing, he's just gonna take me. And no, let's say like here, I take this pawn just not to lose the pawn. After just he takes here, he has extremely annoying pressure on this file, and he has a pressure like this. And I probably would have played something like knight d2 here, but this position doesn't look very good for me. He might even just be able to take this pawn. Like, he has all these open stuff to my king, and it is not good. He didn't play it in the game, but if he played f4, he's attacking my center, and I would have most certainly gotten in a little bit of trouble here. The other line that I was considering was what he tried in the game, takes, knight g3. This isn't bad per se, but what I thought, he has this move queen to f4. Really good move, because in this endgame, even though he has this bad bishop here at first glance, this pawn is so weak that it doesn't matter. Like, if I take, sure, I have the bishop pair. How am I defending this pawn? Okay, not that move. Like, rook here, he's going knight d2 and stuff. And I was severely worried of this. However, the one thing my opponent was doing, he was spending way too much time. Like, he spent 13 minutes just taking, and then 6 more on this, and at this point he only has like 20 minutes left. So I played bishop d7, he completely misses my idea, which is bishop c6. Now I have this very strong bishop here. He probably should have played like, maybe even just knight e5. So then on bishop c6 you can do like f6 stuff. But on bishop c6, now takes, and I played h6 because I was kind of worried here he's gonna have queen g5. But yeah, this f4 is like the main thing in the position. We want to open up to his king, but I was kind of worried about this queen g5 move. And okay, and in this position my opponent should have definitely tried probably something to stop this f5 move. Like, I was thinking, it is though already very hard for him to play. Like, maybe something like knight c5, just so on f4 there's a fork and you get something. But already his position is hard to play, and he just makes a big mistake with queen b4, allowing f5. And this move here is very important. We don't want to play we don't want to rush with f4 here, because he's gonna have knight e6, and there might be some stuff with f3, but it's way too risky. Just play queen g5 and queen h5. Actually, there's a very interesting line I was considering here. Here, and takes. With the idea that we give up our queen, but we get this, and let's say king h2. We take, check here, and we just take back, and we're going here. And so instead, the opponent would go king f1 probably, but then just takes, and his king is wide open for a massive attack. He's up material technically, but no, he's not up material even. But usually with this, it counts as up material, but his king is gonna get bombarded, dude. In the game though, I didn't want to do that because I thought it was exceedingly risky. I was playing the 59, I didn't really want to just do that. So I played queen h4, idea of knight e6. I'm just going queen f3, and that's min 1. And so he goes king f1, and I don't really want to go with this king hunt here. I'm definitely winning, but he can try a little bit of stuff to try and escape. So instead I play a5 and then f4. I'm just gonna leave his king here and make it die with my rooks. And so knight e4, yes, it is possible to play some move like f3 as well with this idea. And then on rook e5, you're most certainly you just take the rook, but let's say he moves this rook here. I don't have anything right away, and also if I take this pawn, sure, I can win the piece back. However, I wanted the game to end in 2 moves, and I was kind of lazy, so I just took this pawn. And then there's nothing he can do here. He's just destroyed here. There's no way to stop mates. Other than f3, and now I just take the pawn and play here. And in the game he tries one more. He tries to check. However, I block it. Queen defends the bishop, and he resigned. Okay, so going back, his big chance was here. If he had played this f4 move, I would have been in some trouble. And his mistake, honestly, this position's already very hard to play. I think the engine says something like this was his mistake. But already with this bishop here, he has to play some really awkward move knight f1 or something. And it is not fun to play with black at all. Knight e4 is definitely the most natural move. But this f4 plan, f5, f4 plan, just kicking this knight, ends up winning me the game. Okay, so that's how I win round 1. Round 2 recap, I don't know when, 3 months.